Alright, we're back. Just going to be revising. This is obviously the trading analysis for this week, guys. Hope you all enjoy this video. And if you do, you know what to do. The like and subscribe. Obviously, you guys know about my traders headquarters already, the Discord community. If you guys want to join, down below, just check it out. Just check it out. It's free. On top of that, disclaimer, I am unprofitable, but I'm just going over my trades so that when I do become profitable, you all can see my journey and you all can be with me right now. Anyway, let's get to it. So all I can say is that this week wasn't actually that bad. Like, of course, we had a bad loss on Friday, but we're gonna figure out how to master Fridays. We're gonna practically probably produce the most money on Fridays because Fridays are bangers. But for the time being, guys, this week wasn't too bad until Friday, but you know, we're doing all right. Okay, yeah, guys, this is Monday, the start of Monday. Let's see what we saw before and after so we can just learn from our lessons to improve. Right now, we can clearly see that I probably will be looking for sells here if price decided to stay longer up here, which it did. Just in my time still, price was ranging, you know, price grabbed down here before time, pushed up. This is phase 2, guys. We're probably expecting right now a 50% retracement and then to the push down, or maybe a liquidity grab in New York. Those are like the really good times. These are the really good sort of trades, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what price gives us. So in this case, we can clearly see if we go down to the 5-minute time frame, we can see that price actually came back for the 50% retracement. But what I've also noticed here and there, guys, is that when price kind of hits perfectly the 50% retracement on the downside from the push down, it has to go a bit deeper, be a higher probability. Sometimes it does just touch it and push down, but usually what happens is that price comes all the way in to this area right here and then rejects from this area. So we'll see what happens. So I took a sell here because, you know, I was a bit impatient. It was still lining up with what I wanted, but just price, you know, decided to range after I entered in, and just price wasn't doing what I would like it to do, and it happens sometimes. Remember, guys, I don't like ranges either. So when price it decides to make a higher high, it's definitely understandable why price can do this, is because what price is now representing is that price is grabbing liquidity and it's still in the 50% retracement. So it's a liquidity grab, 50% retracement, and in London session, the start of London. So let's see what happens here. So price has pushed down. So probably if I entered in here, if I was more patient and I entered in here, I would have been a better entry. We still may have not pushed down from here, but it would have been a better entry in general because I was just a bit more patient. And if you realize the time when I actually entered in, which I probably did at 5:25. So I entered in 30 minutes early because, like I was talking about for the past week, to start entering a bit earlier just because of how the setups are providing me better setups, so to speak, earlier. And in this case, what happened on Monday is that price did provide me with a setup. It was too perfect, and usually price wants to come in a bit deeper, so this would have been a better sell. And yeah, so I took the sell here. I didn't actually take in here because price worked me out, and I just wanted to watch how price did. So let's just see what happens next. If I would have entered in here, and this is where I would have brought my break even to. So if price probably hit down here, I would have brought my stop loss to break even, or if price probably hit here, depending on how conservative I want to be, or just depending on how price is reacting. If it hits this area and it starts rejecting, I may just bring it to break even just because of how price is acting. But overall, I'd probably keep this full stop loss for the time being. So yeah, I would have been stopped out here. If I was to take out a bit earlier right here, I would have, but probably up here. So I could have saved probably 2 pips from this. In this situation, I didn't save any, but just because of the entry wasn't too well and price can still reject. And in this case, price just didn't want to really push down from this area. So I could have saved at least 2 pips. So let me just remove this one, continue going. So price is just doing its thing. We have no clear entry for us just yet. You can clearly see that price just came a bit higher. You can say it also grabbed the 5-minute liquidities before it pushed down. So you can say that price wants a reason for it to push down. So in this case, price is, you know, ranging here a bit and then it pushed down. And then now it's coming back up just to slowly grab that liquidity before pushing down once again. So once price would have hit this area, break even, if I decided to wait this long and not fall for the fake outs, I would be at break even right now. Yeah, okay, I would have just been hit with break even for that day. And I could have potentially saved one whole trade if I was just a bit more patient. So the lesson that I can learn right now, just from Monday in this particular session, is to wait for price to grab 5-minute liquidities where it's available, or just go deeper. So this one would have been more valid if I was to actually just take a trade right here. But overall, if I was just more patient, this one is obviously the best sell in the 50% retracement area. But you can clearly see that price did actually come deeper and then push down. Not only did it push down, but it started to range. So that was a problem. We love ranges only to get the sell from the top. Let's just see what happens now. We're waiting for price just to do its thing. It starts ranging. We don't like ranges. I'm pretty sure I was actually going to sell at this point as well. I'm not too sure because once it started ranging, I took out at break even. Could have been today or another day because there was a lot of ranges today, guys. There was a lot of ranges today. I'll be looking at the mic like you guys are right there, but you're right here. So yeah, you know, price grab liquidity. I thought it was a perfect area opportunity for me just to take a sell to the downside. Price came back up, grab liquidity, and I was like, perfect. I'm just gonna let this go. I'm gonna wait for price probably to get to this 50% retracement here or down here for me to bring my stop loss to break even. Let's see what happens. So price comes up once again. I let it go because this is what happens sometimes, and it's also New York session. During this time right now, it's during New York. It's like literally the start of New York. Here you can say it's pre-New York session. Pre-New York session, no one really cares about that, but New York session is usually at 10:30, 10:15 or something. It's around that area. So in this case, price grabbed liquidity either just before New York or during New York at the start, very start. And from there, you know, it's kind of just pushed down. And then once price started to push down, I was like, perfect. I'm going to bring it to break even now because it's in a pretty good area. It's reached a 50% retracement from this push up. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens now. And what we can see here, price just came straight back up. And this is where I was like, okay, let me just take out for a break even. We are cool, we don't need no more. And what we can see here is that price just decided to push up. So today, what we could have learned today is really just to possibly take a sell up here. I'm not gonna lie, if I was really needing something, because you can say a few things about here is that it's taken liquidity, all the liquidity from previous price action, and it's also reaching a monthly open price. Let's just see what happens here. So if I was to take a sell here, let's see if it would have been worth it or not. The price was ranging a bit. I didn't like the range, but in the end, price decided to break through and broke down. And if price decides to come back up, I may just take out, meaning I would have probably taken out around here. So in this case, price would have been at break even anyway. So Monday was just a break even day. It didn't really go my direction. I expected price to do the same that it did on the upside as it's going to do on the downside, but in the end, price didn't do that. So today I should have ended up with a break even. In the end, I only ended up with a probably down one trade. I'll check Euro because Euro sometimes has a different story if I did trade Monday. When I have that line in, it usually means I brought it to break even. So let me just see what price did. And we can clearly see if price hits the blue line, it means that it's at break even. So price came close, and I think I just took out just because of how price was acting. That could have been the case. Yeah, it could have been dead ass brought to break even. If price doesn't come back up, I probably just brought it to break even, or I would have just held it through this area. I'm not too sure what I would have done. It's either holding through these ranges or congested areas, or literally taking out once price got close to the break even area. Let's see what happens. The price decides to push down, comes back up, and essentially what I did here was I think I let it hit my break even. I think I did hold it for this period of time since it came back up anyway and hit my break even. And from this, what I could actually learn from this is that I should have taken out probably above this area right here, just because I have a new added on adjustment to my strategy when price rejects this sort of average open price area, which is the gold box or the yellow box, is that I actually just take out, especially when it's above previous highs, which is right here. And as you can see, after it went above the previous price, it just shot straight back up to break even. So I should have honestly taken out for a 1-to-1, sort of something like a 1-to-1 if I wanted to give it a bit more space. A 1-to-1 would have been perfect. Should have been up for a little bit. Let's see if I would have taken any other trades anywhere else. I probably would be waiting for prices to grab this top liquidity, or even this top liquidity. So one right here and one right here. Also just adding this one in. This is still Monday, guys. This is still Monday. So what price does here? Would I have waited for that? I don't know if I would have waited for this. It's too late now. I took too long. Let's see what price does. Price decides to, so guys, price decides to push down from here. And what I could have learned just from this area just alone is that I should have just waited for another entry, taken a sell here, because if I did, I would have still been in, maybe taken out because it hit break even. That could have been definitely a problem. If price hit break even, I would have just been stopped out here and pushed down, unless I knew that this was the liquidity of the range. So in all essence, what I'm trying to yap about, guys, is that I would have taken out here and I would have missed a trade here. So today I broke it out for Euro and break even. For GU, I broke with one loss on a trade. Overall, what I could have done better is actually broken probably for break even for the whole day, just because on EU, it offered me with a sell that could have actually came in for at least a 1-to-1 if I took out once price broke through the average price area, which would have been right here. Anyway, y'all, that's what we've learned. We've learned just to implement more of the average price areas, which we were supposed to do. This was a thing that I had a problem with for the past few weeks, so we're actually implementing it now, and it's really changing our trading. Anyway, let's go to the next day. Next day, guys, we can clearly see here on Tuesday that price did phase 1 right here. Phase 2, it's coming down, and we're probably looking for a buy on phase 3. And right now we're looking for the 50% retracement, which I put in right here. Let's see what happens. It is now, yep, so I would have been in this trade right now. Perfect. Price did come back up. Entered in with a really solid trade. Price was good. You know, area was pretty good. Let's see what price gave us. Let's see what the opportunity that price gave us with. So price literally pushed all the way back up, guys. Price pushed all the way back up. In the end, I remember this trade, guys. I actually came out with a 1-to-2 just because Jonas You know, Jonas kind of helped me through this one because I was planning on holding. Jonas said that it's going to go down. Other people said it was going to go down, so I took heed to what they said. I made sure price was not going to go anywhere lower than a 1 to 2, and if it did, I would have taken out. So what happened is price diddled out a little bit, and then, you know, it actually did the exit strategy right here. We can call it the V exit, and price did the V exit, and we're expecting to either take out here just because price, you know, grabbed all of this liquidity here. There was a bit more liquidity, but this was like the main liquidity. Price did it, and it came back down to essentially push to the downside, and this is where we got out. We got out here just because, you know, people were saying it was just going to come down. So I did take heed to what they said, and also it did take out of my strategy, the V exit strategy. I decided that I really wanted to hold this, but I had another trade in GU that was running anyway. So I was like, okay, let me just secure this 1 to 2, and then on GU, I'll do something about it. So in this case, what happened is price came down, kept going down, and then obviously news did this, affected it, and I would have hit my break even if I didn't take it out top, which I did. So yeah, I guess this week's news wasn't too great. You guys will see on Friday, wasn't the best, but it's all right. And this was my next buy on GU as well. Should have done the exact same thing, but I just didn't think. This what you'll see, guys. You'll see. This is my buy on GU. It was pretty perfectly set because of the 50% retracement. Remember, price doesn't like doing perfect all the way. Sometimes it goes a bit deeper than the 50% retracement. That's just like an area where you can see your buying opportunity. And I may actually switch from using the 50% retracement to the Fibonacci, because Fibonacci is a bit more accurate and you can see where price is more probable to go, which is like the 78, maybe 61, 80 to 78 area. And let's just see what happens. So price starts to go up. This is what I'm holding through, guys. And it's a bit of a problem here because price doesn't really want to push up as much as EU did. I was expecting price to at least touch the average price area, but it didn't actually get to that point. I'm not too sure. I decided to hold this, guys, and put it at break even just because I wanted to see what price was going to do. And in the end, what price did, it was just ranging, and then news came and I took a bigger loss than usual. So my loss was probably at 14.5 pips instead of 10 pips just because of news. It is what it is. It's lessons to learn, and in this case I probably should have gotten down just because it was a range in itself. I don't really like taking ranges, and if I was to take a range, I would have taken a buy somewhere here, but the fact that price did another range, I would have taken out somewhere else, or I would have let it hit my break even before price did it. So there's a few things to learn, that if price doesn't do necessarily what you want it to do, then that's when you take out, because it may just reverse on you like it did today, especially with news. And that's lessons to learn, just to make sure that if price is ranging, hop out. If news is coming, heed other people's words, like heed other people's opinions. Don't necessarily take it to heart, but like if someone who's way more experienced, like my sensei, then you just have to, hey, just take it to heart. And like if you have two positions, close one out and then let one run and see what your thoughts were and see how his thoughts turned out, and just figure out how to learn from it. And what I learned from that is just to understand that if certain situations are saying to not hold it for too long, then just heed their warning and probably try to put like a certain exit strategy in place that if price does push down low enough, you just take out earlier than what you would. So what happened here is that price did this, and this is probably when I call it a day. So you can see I was up half a trade today. Overall throughout the week, on Tuesday, I actually am a bit at break even, just a little bit below break even. Let's go to Wednesday now. Let's go to Wednesday. So guys, from the previous day on GU, price just continued to push down. I think it was probably the same with Euro. I'm not too sure what happened with Euro on that day, but yeah, I took out earlier on Euro, and then price both came down for Euro and GU. As for on Wednesday, what happened is what I expected price to continue going down just from how it was setting up. It was a new month and price just started going in a downtrend. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's just expect price to keep pushing down. So in this case, guys, we took a sell here. I guess we did take out a bit earlier with the 1 to 0.67 to see what price does. And then we'll just analyze what we could have done better. So in this case, guys, I was probably looking for a buy, but the buy happened actually way too early because price came down, came out of the area, and this is where I would usually take a buy at, but obviously price did this way earlier, so we were expecting a sell just to come back down. We didn't expect price to come all the way back down, because if you really think about it, we should have probably taken another buy here just because of how price was acting and how price was actually phasing. I would have wanted to go with the trend, but in this case price worked against me. And probably to learn from this is just to go with my original bias, so to speak. Even though I said I was going for a sell, what I did, but I originally would have liked to buy. So what price did here is price started to push down, and this is what I got with. Price continued to push down, kept pushing down, and it came back up. There was a reason why I took out earlier, is because maybe a few reasons. One was it respected the 50% retracement, came back down a little bit deeper, started to push back up. What was the other reason? There was another reason why I took it out. Before I actually go into that, let's just analyze my entries so I can actually have better entries. But this, guys, you can say I was a bit impatient. Price did this huge move through the monthly and the weekly, and essentially when price started to make it down, I entered in instantly. Obviously price kind of faked me out, went up even higher, took out the previous liquidity that I just made, and then continued going down sustainably. So I was like, this is a pretty good one, pretty good trade. Why I hopped out of this trade is, let's figure out the reason for that. Usually if price would have hit this area, the 50% retracement area, which it did, I would have brought it to break even. Let's see what price did. In this case, the reason why I got out, honestly, on this occasion, I'm not too sure why I got out of the trade. I'm not too sure why. So if I did get out of this trade, cool, I got a dub, but I didn't expect myself to get a dub. I have no clue why I got out of this trade. I don't think I did. I may have just hit break even. To be honest with you guys, I don't know if I got out of this trade. For Euro, let's see what Euro did on Wednesday. So Euro on Wednesday had the same thing. Price pushed down and it did the move earlier, guys. It did phase 2 earlier. As you can see here, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, which we were expecting price to essentially come back down here to push up. But obviously, in this case, price could continue going up. And I think I tried to take the sell on this. It messed up. And for this one, I don't think I took this sell. I may have not taken this sell. I'm not too sure what I did. I think this was a forward test. And this one here wasn't a forward test. And yeah, that's really what I got out with, guys. Price here just violated me. This one here, I think I just took an extra trade. Or I just put a forward test because I had a sell already happening on GU. Price decided to still go up. If I was to take another sell on this trade, I would have taken one definitely right here, and if price would have violated me, I would have been done that for the day. On Euro especially, let's see what happens. The price starts to push down and I'm still in this trade. Price is checking, it's chilling. Since price is kind of ranging here, I probably would have taken out. Let's see what happens here. So price does continue to push down, but it comes back up, so say I saved myself from disaster. But in this case, price was just ranging. It wasn't too well. I would have wanted something better, but yeah, that's what price did, and I didn't take a sell here. And overall, I should have probably ended up with break even or just one loss, due to the fact of this one right here, which I did cut my loss, which it looks like right here I did, just because price made a higher high. I wasn't tolerating price just messing around too much. So, you know, it made a higher high, took out instantly, re-entered at the top here, and that's probably why it happened. It did what it did. What I probably could have done here is I probably could have cut my loss just above here, which I may have done. I'm not too sure if I did or not. I don't even know if this is the forward test or not. But yeah, guys, from this trade, you can understand just to cut my losses in certain scenarios where price doesn't really work for my benefit. And yeah, just follow your strat. For this one, it was a bit unique. Going back to Wednesday on GU, price actually was looking very weird because there was really no congestion. This is just the congestion that I had to find. Well, in the 30-minute time frame, it's usually way more clearer, but in this case, there was no congestion. It was just going down. So I expected prices to be in a trend phase, and it came back up to the daily open for a retest to push down, and that's why I took a sell here. And obviously, you can see what happened. That price just decided to push down a little bit. I don't know why I got out here. There was a reason for it. Maybe because price was playing up too much. Not too sure. And yeah, that's really what happened, guys. So lesson of the day is really just to cut losses. That's really it for today, I'd say, and I'll probably catch you all Thursday. Okay, guys, for Thursdays, real quick, gonna label out where the range is. We're expecting price to form phase 2. This is phase 2 clearly right here, something like this. We're probably looking for whichever direction price bursts out of and continues down. So it looks like we may be looking for a buy due to the fact that where price is at right now. We'll probably want price just to probably come to the monthly open price. Right here is phase 2. We probably took a buy here, and let's see what happened. Yeah, price was ranging. That's why I took out early, guys. I took out early here because price was ranging. I was expecting price to actually push up, and it didn't actually happen. So I think I took out for a little bit of a loss. That's probably why it's like this. Let's see what happens to price. Price comes down, grabs liquidity. I was like, perfect buy-in. So we took another buy, and this is when we implemented the average price range or price area as well. Remember how price pushes up, and if it hits the average price area, that's where we'll be looking for maybe taking out if price decides to reject from this area. So obviously you see here, price pushes up, and we expect price, if it comes down this far, to essentially take out with a profit. What happened is price pushed down, we took out right here for a profit of 1-to-1 essentially. We took it for another buy right here just because of how price was looking. Our original goal was for price to take a buy here at the liquidity levels, because sometimes price pushes up, comes back, retest, and hits your break even, then pushes up once again. And we can clearly see here what price did. Price faked me out, came back down, actually came to grab liquidity anyway in the end. So something I can learn from this is just to be patient, because I would have at least had my second entry right here, which would have been at a better area. Let's see what happens. So price literally completely disrespects me. In this case, I would have been more content due to the fact that I would have wanted it here instead of here. If that makes sense. But I wanted here because price looked like it was pushing up at the time to the upside earlier than I expected down here. So yeah, really what happened was price did it, grabbed liquidity, faked me out, continued pushing pushing down, and then in the end it pushed up. It just takes its time, but that's really what happened on GU. Let's check out what EU did on Thursday. Phase 1 right here, it's already labeled. We have all these extra 50% retracement areas for certain things later on in time. I'll just remove them for the time being, and we're expecting to take a buy on whichever way it breaks out completely. So this way, so we're expecting to take a buy at least back to the average price area. And what happened in this instance is that I guess it did the same thing, and I took out for a little profit, took another buy. Same thing Thursday, Euro prices did something a bit different, but it was overall valid because price came back down and grabbed liquidity out of this range that was formed, which if I was to put a range box down, it would have been somewhere here. And this would have represented the range. Obviously price grabbed the bottom liquidity from here, and this is where I took a buy. It was a pretty big candles for the two, so I had to kind of hop in a bit on time, and that's why it was a perfect entry. Price started to push up, and yeah, once price pushed up, this is where I was like, perfect. Price is in the average price area. Like I said, I implemented that once price pushes down and breaks through, I'm going to take it. I did give it a bit more space because I still had faith that price was going to push up. I still had hope. So let's see what happens in this case. So price pushed down, and in this case I took out right here because it wasn't moving as fast as it looked. It was moving a bit slower in time for me just to take out. So I took out for 0.57. So overall I'm probably up 1 to 2, but then I took a loss. So you can say I'm up a little bit of profit for today, which is really good. Today was really good due to the fact that I implemented every single strategy that I've learned, and I adjusted my strategy to work in these types of market conditions. And yeah, that's really it for Thursdays. Lessons for Thursdays, really be more patient, as GU was the only problem that I did where I didn't actually wait for price to grab liquidity on GU right here. If we're talking about this being GU, which is EU, but let's just say it's GU, then I was waiting for price to take a buy right here. And let's see what happened on EU anyway if it did that. So if I was to take a buy on EU, it would have faked me out once again, and I was happy with EU, more focused on GU. The problem that I just had to work on for GU was literally just to wait for my strategy, or just to wait for liquidity to be grabbed instead of just buying at 50% retracements in New York after I push up. Final day is Friday, guys, and this is what's happening. So price did the first phase 1. Remember, Fridays are a bit weird, they're a bit different, so price was kind of ranging on top. And usually when ranges happen in phase 1, like usually when phase 1 happens, it usually happens around the daily open. In this case, price didn't really do it around the daily open. It happened top here, so I kind of just tried to adjust. Initially I was actually looking at the SPY because it was looking really clean. I just wanted price to take this liquidity and also the bottom one. What actually happened was price barely took the first one and left the second one, so I was expecting price to at least come down to grab these two before pushing up. So what essentially happened here is I took a sell here. You can say I was waiting for all liquidity areas to be swept, as if I go back in time, I'm waiting for this area, I'm pretty sure. See, price actually formed the range here, which was the phase 1, and also, you know, monthly open price here. So I had to risk half the amount and take a sell here just to see what would happen. And what price did here was range again. So I took out, cut it for a 3.4 pip stop loss, and I risked half the amount, so I practically lost barely anything for this trade, which was really good risk management. For this one I did put half risk just because price didn't grab all of it. If price was to grab this one here and this one here, I would have actually put full risk, but I only grabbed the monthly open price. I was like, yeah, it should be fine. And what happened was price did its thing, played around, came back all the way to the top here, grabbed the monthly open price, pushed down from here, and I was like, okay, let me just put this in, see what happens. And obviously price faked me out, and you know, when news was coming closer, price still didn't grab liquidity until news. And as soon as news hit, obviously you can see what happened. Price just burst through opposite towards me. It happens, and I don't think I would have avoided. Oh, I actually hate flies, but I don't think I would have actually avoided this one just because it was just a part of my strategy. And sometimes you lose some, sometimes you win some. And that's just how it was. I did have a 12.4 stop loss, but in the end, price probably did something like this. 26.1 stop loss just because of news. If you guys don't know what news does, news doesn't really care about your stop loss. But there's so much sellers or buyers in the market at once that the stop loss is actually delayed. So if you had a 12 pip stop loss like I did, it is now probably 26.1 that it actually processes. So just be careful of news for that. I knew this could have been a possibility, and it's just what happened. It is what it is. And for GU, something similar happened the same. You can see here, you know, price was doing the range up top once again. It was already off. Price didn't even touch the daily open price, but for EU it did, so this was a bit off as well. So this kind of did look more of a sell just for price to at least grab these few areas before pushing up. But this is Friday, we have to all pay attention and know. And when price came all the way up here, I was like, this is a perfect area just because this is the range, it's above it, and price is doing this congested area. It also grabbed liquidity, and you know what, I'm gonna take a sell because this is not a bad area to take a sell. I didn't grab both, that was my concern. That's why I put a stop loss above both of them. Price pushed down, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Pushed down, I actually took out somewhere here just because of price doing a few things. Remember, price touched the average open price area, and if price broke out of it, I would have taken out. And this is what happened. Probably from this lesson I could have learned is to hold on to my trades longer, just for price to at least grab the middle. But in this case, you know, I kind of followed my strategy. It is what it is. It happened, and then price pushed down a bit more, and from this area I probably could have like made a bit more from price breaking out somewhere here. So I would have literally earned 0.2 pips more in this trade, which would have been more of what I should have done. But in the end, what I did do is just took out a bit earlier. It's alright, it happens. And for my second trade on GU, price was ranging. I predicted this in my video, and I expected price to first initially grab both of these. Essentially what happened is price only grabbed one of them, so that was already a problem. I was expecting price just to come back up to grab both of them before news came, but essentially what happened is price only gained to a really good area to take a sell. Didn't actually give me the confirmation of the 5-minute confirmation, if you guys know, a candle being below another for me to enter. And for this one, I didn't actually do it. I was just FOMO. I had FOMO, and I just expected price to push down, and it didn't actually give me a confirmation, so I could have saved a lot of money here, this one here. But I just wanted to hop in because I expected price to push down for a few reasons. Price hasn't really touched the daily open since the very start of the daily open. Second reason is that it's at the top of the liquidity of a range. Third reason is that it's previously just grabbed liquidity, and the only reason I could see that price could reverse in me is because of the top liquidity up here. It just did what it did. And another reason why I shouldn't have actually entered in, even though there was all these possibilities and probabilities with me, is that it didn't actually give me an entry to enter in. And usually what happens for the past few times I've actually been in these trades is that it's given me an entry before it happened. So this is all my fault, guys, and what I could learn from this is just wait for confirmation. 5-minute confirmations are very important, just to signal, I guess, other traders who use it as well, who could have more capital. I'm not too sure what happens, but it just didn't give me the entry to enter in, and I entered in because I thought price was just playing and it wasn't going to grab this and push down anyway. What happened is that there was one spot left, it didn't grab it, so it came back up to grab it once again. And obviously you can see later on what happened is price came back down. I would have expected to at least take a sell if I didn't take a sell here, up here, but I would have waited for the retracement for price to actually grab liquidity, but there was no retracement at all, so I wouldn't have actually taken a sell at all during this whole trade. Maybe here, but I doubt it. But yeah, that's really it, guys. So what I can learn from Fridays is just to be more patient, wait for 5-minute confirmations. That's really it. Be more patient, 5-minute confirmations, and that's really all I've learned from Fridays. So let's check out the overview of all my trades and what I could learn in general. Okay guys, I've been yapping for a minute now, and we're going to go to the lessons, what I can learn. Number one is obviously incorporating the average price area breakouts, which what it means for me is that when price comes in and it comes back out of the average price area, which is a certain area, and it reacts very volatile, then I'll hop out, because usually what happens is price will come back to my entry and push down. That's number one. 2 is just to be more patient. 3 is to cut my losses. So you can say I am getting better. But last week, if you guys see my last trading analysis, which should be right here, is that I didn't actually incorporate the average price area breakout, and now I am, and it's already making wonders happen. So that's really what it is. And if you guys like this video, you know what to do. We're gonna catch you guys probably tomorrow or on Monday. Peace.